Hi everyone, this is Falon Dominguez, and I am doing my last credibility blog for the year with FTDS. And this blog is supposed to really be about our review of the book Credibility, which we've been reading since the beginning of this school year. And so there were a couple of questions that we were asked to answer this week. The first few were, what did you learn from the book? What did you learn about yourself from reading the book? And how have you applied what you've learned to your life? For me, Credibility has probably been, out of all the books that we've read for FDDS, this has been my favorite book. And I think that it's really because I think credibility is a very important characteristic for a leader and one that I really value. And I thought that I had a general idea of what credibility was supposed to be, but reading this has really made me think. And not just think about credibility in general, but it really makes you think about the nitty-gritty details of being a credible leader, what it means to be honest, and what it means to be inspiring, and how you can do that, and what it means to be consistent over time, everything. And so I would say that that's really what I've learned from the book, and I really have tried to apply everything that they say in this book to my general, I guess, participation in FDDS, from our seminars to doing our credibility blogs. But then especially to my role in photosynthesis. As CEO, I have a lot of people that are looking at me to be a credible leader, and so I've really tried to improve on the things that I don't think that I'm very good at all the time, or try to make sure that I'm consistent, you know, especially when you get busy. It's really hard to, or it's really easy, I guess, to look over the little details of being credible, like doing a credibility blog post. But part of being a good leader is that you make sure you do the little things too. And so the next question was, which FDDS has the most credibility and why? And this was a hard question for me, because when I think about FDDS, and really from reading this book, there are a lot of things that FDDS as a whole does really well, and we're really, you know, we're credible, I guess. But there are a lot of things that each of us could work on as well. And so I'm not really sure that anyone in FDDS really epitomizes credibility as described in this book yet. But there are a couple of people that I want to give shout outs to, because especially through working with them in photosynthesis, they've really, you know, stepped up to the plate in being very credible leaders. And those two are Alan Day. Alan, every time I ask you to look up something for me for photosynthesis, or to, when we have our one-on-one meetings, you're always prepared and you've done what I asked you to do, and it's been really, really helpful. I know that I can come to you and ask you questions, and you'll have like a very complete answer, and we can make decisions that way, and so I really appreciate it. And you're on time to the meeting today, so I also really appreciate that too. And the second person is Candace. Candace, same thing. Every time I come to meet up with you about what we were doing in photosynthesis, you've done exactly what I've asked. You've made notes about all of it. You're there on time. You know, you've thought about the next 20 things that we need to do, and you've probably already started doing those as well, and it's really paid off since, you know, we're having a meeting this week with a school that we can work with, and so both of you I really appreciate working with and what you do. So keep up the good work. Thank you. And the last question is, would you recommend the book to others? And I would say yes, definitely, because this book, it's not just for people that are in programs like FDDS, or doing, or being CEOs of companies, or, you know, in charge of other projects, but you can apply this to a lot of things, especially students who are applying for things like merit awards. You can use this book when you're thinking about your interviews or writing your applications. You know, you can think about it for clubs and organizations that you're in. And so I really think that it helps people think about the type of leader that they are in many different types of situations. So that is my review of Credibility, and I will see you all next year.